Hello and welcome to Lego and Connect with Dominica May. I have had a change of plans tonight. I thought I was going to be joined by a guest, but it's not happened. So I have decided I am going to be building this Australia postcard set. Here, let me pull it up this way instead. The Australia postcard set. Oh, is that backwards? Why does it look backwards? No, now I need to change some settings. Hang on. I need to flip that around. Let me turn my camera off. Don't mind me, just fixing up some settings. Not entirely sure what happened, why my camera is back to front. There we go. Let's flip that back. There we go. Exit. And there we go. This is the picture. I don't know how that happened. It's never gone back to front before. All right, so I'm going to be building this Australia postcard set. We've got lots of pieces here that I didn't even realize. Do the background of the postcard first. Let's see. How convenient that it's showing how to build it upside down. space for the tree that's going to be standing up. It feels like it's warping and not flat. Ooh, it's very careful about which part of the backside you're supposed to put in. These ones. There we go. Got ourselves a, I think it's a seagull. Right, spare pieces aside. All right, seagull. But two. Three sets of bags for section 2, which is the rest of it. If I get done too quick, I have another small set to do. All right. Nope, this way. Whoops. Let's see. This bag or this bag? It looks like a light grey one. Oh, it is light grey. Okay. Here. Amazing. It went right in the straight. Barely had to rotate to match. I dislike having to put one pieces on one pieces when they're square pieces. Got ourselves the beginning of, I think it's a eucalyptus tree. Oh, not that one. This one? Alright, looks like my friend overslept. Alright, so I'm going to be joined by someone shortly. Good thing I chose a small set. This is what happens when you have guests from other parts in the world where they accidentally sleep in. But it's all right. Is it the transparent? Oh, it's under here. Okay. This goes here. To the green guy first. All right. Stickers. Got some stickers to do. All right, this one is, oh, it's just one sticker though. Do these ones first. And sticker 3. Whew. Small sticker. Bit of wood. There. No, one piece on one piece on one piece. Amazing. How are you going straight? Did it. Oh, it's a little house and a window. Okay. I guess these can go on anyway. I just put them in. You can always twist them around if necessary once we get a little bit higher up. Okay. Where are we? This one. Okay. And we've got our tin roof. Oh, this is shiny silver. Oh, fancy. Fancy shiny silver. There we go. Two, three, four. One brown piece, which goes here. All Here's Calvin.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Hi.
Oh,
Sorry. Yes. Oh God, I'm so sorry.
what
Ah.
did you go to bed last night, Calvin? Playing video games or something?
What? Video games? Me being so irresponsible at this age? No. No, you must be joking. Oh.
Listen, I am sometimes playing games in the morning, and I
hmm
have certainly seen your name pop up as being online. So not judging,
Well, I
just
mean,
pointing out facts.
those were different times.
It's not been that long since I played a video game.
True, true. But no, I wasn't up late playing video games. I was actually up late reading up on stuff. I'm actually still trying to like finalize certain plans before my trip next in September. So
Ah,
like
so you're doing research.
yeah, just like trying to figure out the best options for, let's say, like SIM cards and stuff like that.
Hmm.
um yeah, and also like I'm actually waiting for tickets to go on sale online for a specific event which will
Hmm.
be going up pretty soon. So like just keeping a close eye on the main channels in case, like, there's any promos or anything.
Yep. And you don't want to miss out.
Yeah, because like my friend who lives in Japan, um, he helped me out by checking out like those convenience stores that are selling tickets to the event, which is
Hmm.
open for locals at the moment. Um,
Hmm.
According to him, it's the same price to get the regular tickets, but like to get those special tickets, which will give you early access to like the event itself, to
Uh-huh.
get like priority in the queue. Those will only go on sale online. And you know how things are nowadays. There's like people who like just have bots buy up like
Yep.
tens
Yep.
of thousands of tickets and then they
Yep.
resell them. Yeah. So I'm hoping to like not end up getting logged out because of those bots.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Certainly
But still, I
frustrating
am
how that
sorry.
goes.
I
It's
am
all right.
sorry. I did remember. It's just that my alarm again did not go off, or maybe it did. I just slept through it, so I'm so sorry.
I had that happen to me recently.
Uh
I
huh.
think like was it last week? I think it was last week. Um,
Hmm.
it's been a very long time since I had slept through an alarm, but like when I woke up and I'm like, it's after 6:30 already because my alarm was supposed to go off at 6:30,
Uh huh.
and how come my alarm didn't go off? And I looked at my phone and it was like, your alarm went off. You just didn't hear it. Like, oh my god, how did that happen?
You must have been dead tired that night.
Must have been. Well, and I mean, because I was awake earlier, and then, and normally when I wake up in at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, it's impossible for me to get back to sleep. So I was just like stunned that first of all I'd gone back to sleep, and second of all that then slept through my alarm
Oof.
because that just it doesn't happen to me.
Well, there's a fuss for everything, I guess.
Mhm.
So I guess I missed the Fast and Furious model that you were
No,
building.
I was waiting for you to build that one.
Oh.
So I picked out a different set to build in the
Oh.
meantime because I
Oh.
wasn't
Okay.
sure if you were going to be able to make it. So I wasn't going to
Oh, I
start without
see.
you. See, look, I'm considerate.
Oh, thank you. So what's this one you're working on? Is it a diorama?
This is a Australia postcard. So that's what it's going to look like.
Oh, oh, that's cute.
So I picked a small set just in case you were had slept in and were going to be able to join me later because I wanted to still be able to build at least one of the Fast and Furious sets if you were able to make it. So I'm glad that seems like it's going to work out.
Yay.
I mean, depending on how much time you have, I suppose.
I should be okay. I mean, I just woke up, but I still need time to like, get out of my groggy status effects.
Yeah, yeah, I hear it. I hear ya.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, this is a set that I've been wanting to build on stream at some point anyway. I just hadn't
Hmm.
got around to it because I've not been streaming.
It has been a while since your last stream, but I guess you've been busy.
Yeah, and also my oldest child takes the computer that I use this camera with a lot, and
Oh.
I don't like to bother her with it, so um,
Oh.
I end up just not streaming and finding other things to do instead. Like I've built plenty of Lego sets in the meantime. I just haven't been seeing them.
That's okay. That's all right. I'm sure eventually, as things go on, you might be able to get yourself a second laptop or maybe a better laptop for yourself and hand down this one to your daughter.
Possibly, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, this one's I might just get her a different one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We will see how that goes. Hey, I
Hmm.
learned today that my
Hmm.
kids are
Hmm. What's up?
automatically US citizens, and I just didn't realize that this is
Oh, right.
a thing. I mean, I thought that it would require more of a process, but I was reading up on the US is it USCIS website
Uh-huh.
because I was going to have to update some other stuff. And it was like,
Hmm.
hey, check to see if your child is actually a citizen. So I had a look at this this page and I was like, oh, so as long as um, one parent who has legal and physical custody is a US citizen and you're living in the US and they have permanent residency status, which my kids
Mm-hmm.
do,
Mm-hmm.
then they are automatically citizens. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
okay then.
wow. Well, that's great.
I still have to like fill out some paperwork to get like a certificate to prove
Hmm.
citizenship, but sounds like it shouldn't be that difficult to do. So
Well, nice. That makes things a lot easier for you there, I guess.
yeah, then we don't have to worry about renewing green cards,
Hmm.
which are expiring in 2 and a bit years. So
Ah, okay. That's plenty of time to sort things out.
yes,
Well,
that is
congratulations to your kids. They're official US citizens. Woo!
apparently have been for all this time, and I had no idea.
Well, I mean, that's the convenience of it, I guess, because like um whenever you start families but you're not in your home country, there's always the question of, oh, does that automatically make them a citizen, dot dot dot, here and there. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, I mean, they weren't born here, so I mean, if they had
hmm,
been born here, then I know it would have been automatic, but
hmm,
because they weren't, and because it was something that I'd looked into back when I lived in Australia, was
hmm,
uh, can my kids get, or at the time it was just one of them, but can my kid be a US citizen? And at the time, because I had not lived in the US for 5 years total of my adult life,
hmm.
they could not. And so I just assumed that was still the case with us living here. Now, granted, I've lived here for over 5 years now, so
Ah,
it would have been valid for in any kind of circumstance at this point. But I didn't know. I had no idea. I mean, I think that was something that we were told when we got the green cards, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand, I didn't comprehend. So I was like, all right. But now
Well,
I
I
know.
mean, yeah. Now that's sorted out, and you have a you know you have kids who are American citizens. Congratulations! Yay! Fireworks, barbecue, cheeseburgers. Let's go.
I'll wait until I've got actual paperwork that says so.
Of course, of course, of course. But by honor, they are U.S. citizens.
Yeah. I'm stunned that I just didn't really like realize it all this time.
It's okay. I mean, honestly speaking, with how busy your life can be, it's very easy to like have details like this completely like escape you.
Hmm.
Honestly, even for people who live in the country for like their whole life, they're bound to have like missed many things that the government has probably offered in terms of like you know services or whatnot. Like I can tell you for a fact, even here in Malaysia, I think it was a news article that came out a month ago or something. Um,
Hmm.
you know how like for people who pay taxes, oftentimes they can get either tax breaks or they may get like tax rebates for certain
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
right? So how it's normally done is that when it's tax season, you got to get your receipts, you got to file them, you got to fill in the form either in person or online, submit them with your signature, and then usually you hear back within a few days or the following week if you get a tax rebate, and then the money is automatically like deposited into your bank account
Hmm.
normally. But there have been many initiatives by our government that actually do not go through the main like tax system. I believe it's called the IRS in America or something.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. So similarly, there are many multiple channels that actually offer rebates, but you have to go through those individual channels to receive the money.
Mm.
And if I'm not mistaken, last year or early this year, it was announced that nearly, I think, 2 or 3 million ringgit worth of unclaimed money is still in like the
Because
government
it's so
account waiting for people to claim.
complicated to figure this stuff out. I know there's like unclaimed money situations in the US as well.
Hmm.
I do not have any unclaimed money. I looked it up when I heard about it. Like there was nothing for me. So, but look at all these spare pieces.
Oh wow, what? Why there's so many spare pieces?
Because they give you spares generally for like these smaller ones.
In case you lose one or two of them.
Yeah, because they get fiddly and they roll away, and you're like, oh, where did it go? Um,
Hmm.
but that's a lot of. There's two
That
grey
is a
ones.
lot.
Did I miss a
Eh,
grey one somewhere? I don't know.
maybe.
Okay.
But it looks great. I mean, I can see the hut, I can see the windmill. Is that supposed to be a tree?
I think it's a eucalyptus tree, probably, and
Oh, okay.
sulfur-crested cockatoo.
Oh yeah, that one looks cute.
I think this is like an outhouse, Dunny.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you can see that very well, like, but it's got a door on it because they use the door on um the house there as well.
Ah, okay.
So
Huh. It really feels outback.
very outback.
Is that is that supposed to be Qantas Airlines at the top left there?
Or oh, maybe it is. I thought it was a seagull, but maybe it's a plane.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
All right. I have I'm guessing you won't have time for me to build both of the Fast and Furious sets. So, you have a choice for which one I
Ooh.
build. Do
Ooh.
you want Dominic Toretto and his
Perfect.
Dodge Charger,
Mm-hmm.
or Brian? I've forgotten his last name. Brian and his um, Nissan Skyline GTR.
Ooh, choices, choices. Well, if we only get to pick one, I'd say we have to go with Dom's muscle car.
All right, we'll do that one.
It's just how it has to be.
One, well, it allows us to talk a lot about the series because he's the one who was
Oh
in all of
yes,
the movies.
exactly.
He's even in
he's the
Tokyo Drift in a very like small cameo role.
yes, that's true.
Although he is not in that spin-off with Hobbs and Shaw. So
I mean that's in the name itself, isn't it? Let's see this bad boy. So it's only one bag, yeah?
oh, it's
Two
got
bags?
two bags.
Okay.
So
I've always
same as what the Australia one was, but it's got like
uh,
twice as many spaces.
okay. I mean, it is a car. This car, I assume since it's Lego, it's actually like the wheels actually turn and you can roll it around. I
Oh
assume.
yeah,
Nice.
we get to build Dominic Toretto first.
Let's go.
You know, it's funny. I think I heard that this one did not sell that well, and so
Oh.
they were not expecting the Brian Too Fast Too Furious one to sell well, and then it sold out like very quickly, and they were like, like, and so because it sold out quickly, then like people were like selling it for more than it was worth because it was
Oh.
so much demand and everything at the time because everyone wanted it. I don't know for whatever reason. I guess they like the Nissan
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
it's definitely more popular. The Nissan Skyline series is usually like very much associated with street racing, and it's very cool looking. Not to say that Doms isn't cool, but Doms is a bit more of a traditional look, I believe.
yeah, I was pretty sure it was more the car reason rather than it being because Brian was more popular or because Paul Walker was dead and Vin Diesel is not. You know,
I mean, I mean, it's not easy to discount that reality, but
I really doubt that that was the reason. It's sold like crazy.
I wouldn't immediately discount it because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of like Paul Walker fans and they just want to collect memorabilia of him in any form and
Mm.
shape, you know,
Why does his mouth look like a mustache?
because he has that gruntish look, you know, like family.
It's fine. It looks like a very thin mustache. It's very funny.
It's funny you think that because the actor himself hardly has any hair on his
I
face.
know. That's why I was like, "What is going on here with this mustache-looking thing?" He does not have a mustache at all.
They have to get that grimace, you know, that look, that iconic look.
Mm, mm. Well, they did all right with the eyebrows. What do you think?
Yeah, they got the eyebrows right.
It's just a very thick mouth line. All right, here's the base of our car,
Oh, nice. That's that kind of piece
and
you
it
only
wants me to
find when they're like,
put it up upside down. The first thing to put these
ah.
pieces on. Yes, it's a
So
very car piece.
yeah, like I only ever recognize that large piece whenever it's like a four-wheel type build.
Mm,
Yeah. So yes, we're building this today because we've recently enjoyed Fast 10 together
yes, just 1 week ago is when we watched
just
it.
1 week ago. It was actually our second viewing because I think you and I went to watch it separately, like for the first
Yes,
time, right? Yeah.
yes, I saw it in the movie theater um, the weekend it came out
Haha.
because I'm obsessed with the franchise. I feel like I'm someone that does not look like someone who would be obsessed with the Fast and Furious franchise. Because
Honestly,
I'm not like a car person, but this series
honestly speaking, after five, you don't even have to be a car lover to like the
Really
movies.
don't.
Honestly, I mean, like when the first movie came out, Fast and Furious, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, this is an action movie for like car lovers because everything is involving cars, street racing, bright lights, sexy girls, and all that."
Uh-huh.
Um, but like after Fast Five, which is ironically the last movie I watched before watching Fast 10,
Right.
everything just went like
Bonkers?
crazy. It went
Bonkers.
bonkers. It stopped being about like street races and became more about superhero stuff, secret
Yep.
agency stuff.
Being being, spies,
Yeah,
basically.
and it just keeps escalating each movie, to the point that they literally go to outer space with cars.
I love it. I am honestly, I just think all the outrageousness is hilarious, but they managed
Mm,
to keep the characters so grounded. Like, that's the characters really have, um, been what has kept it together for me. Is like loving seeing
mm,
all of these characters, and then when they introduce new characters, like they somehow manage a way to, um, bring everything in and relate them back to
mm-hmm.
existing characters. It's like, how
Mm-hmm.
do they do that?
because ever since the first movie, it's the same resounding theme of family.
Family.
We're all
Family is
family.
family is so important.
Yes. And we may meet all kinds of people in our lives, right? They may not be blood related, but if they do what we do, they're family.
That's right.
We may have arguments, we may have disagreements, but when it comes down to it, we all love family.
It's the ultimate, found family movie franchise,
Oh,
right?
yes. Oh, yes. To the T. Oh, man. I still remember like watching the first Fast and Furious movie and having like little to no expectations about it.
Mhm.
Um, I remember when going to did I go? No, no, no. I didn't go to the cinema to watch it at first. I okay, okay. Don't judge me, but it's because there was little to no options back then. As a
Uh-huh.
as a young kid growing up in the 2000s, right? We
Mhm.
had these like fake VCD sellers,
Ah, ah. But
right?
only back then? You don't have them well, I guess they're not VCDs anymore.
No, now they're Blu-rays. But even then, most of the people doing this don't do it so often because, like, if you have good enough internet, it's very affordable to just like sign up for a streaming service.
Mhm.
Um, but I guess for people who love collecting Blu-rays, they still opt to go and buy them
Mhm.
for the cheaper alternative. I don't know if you can even call it cheaper because, like, I'm pretty sure if you go to those like illegal resellers, they would still charge you almost 40 to 50 bucks for a Blu-ray nowadays.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, but anyway,
Some Blu-rays here are quite cheap these days.
I guess it depends on like the movie or the media content itself.
Mhm.
Yeah, which is weird that resellers even factor that in because like they don't have to pay taxes or licenses.
They just wanna make more money on the popular stuff, right?
Yes, true. So like I remember I think me and my family were like out in the Pasar Malam, a night market,
Mhm.
and it was already kind of like a simple thing that we would do whenever we're out there. We just see what movies are selling for cheap, and they were really cheap back then. I'm talking like 5 ringgit for
Is
a
very cheap.
VCD. Yeah, I mean way cheaper than a movie ticket, especially nowadays because movie tickets now are like almost I think 20 ringgit to 25 per person, which is
Yeah, that's
ridiculously
that's
expensive.
a lot. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, compared to here though, depending on what theater that you go to.
I mean, to be fair, I'm trying to do my part. I'm trying to like go to cinemas for like very, very expectant movies that I look forward to. Like
Mhm,
I actually do plan to go to the theater to catch Oppenheimer. I
mhm.
haven't seen it yet. Uh, I did take my nieces and nephew to watch Puss in Boots, Spider Verse. Like those are good reasons to go to the cinema. Um, but the pricing for a lot of tickets nowadays is just going up and up to the point it's like, man, you guys are already having enough trouble filling cinemas, and now you're upcharging, and they're doing this really weird practice. Sorry, just going for a tangent here, just a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, go
they,
ahead.
they, they're doing this thing now where they're selling you like preferred seating.
Mm,
Because last time it was like a flat rate, or maybe they
yeah,
might have
yeah.
one, or
Um,
they might off.
It's
Yeah.
it's funny you should mention that because one of the big movie theater chains here apparently was planning on doing that, or like they had a trial run with doing that, and I just
Hmm.
uh, which I didn't realize, but I learned today that they decided to cancel that idea. Like just today, they announced
Hmm.
that they were not going to do that. Um, my local theater has you pay $1 extra for the nicer seats. Like
Yeah.
whether if they recline, then it's an extra dollar. If they don't, then you get to pay the regular price. That's how it is at my local theater, which is fine. Um, sometimes I'm like, "Oh, I'll pay the extra dollar," and sometimes I'm like, "Nope, I'll sit in the back row.
Hmm.
I'll pay the regular price." But it depends on the theater. Like some of the theaters, the more expensive seats are not in the part of the theater that I want to sit in anyway. So I'm like, who cares?
Yeah. Which is odd because like over here it's kind of the opposite. Here they are now selling like middle row, basically any seat in between the first three rows. Sorry, basically the inner rows, right? So like the first two rows that are right in front of the screen, those are like the cheapest seats because they're the most uncomfortable.
Yep, I hate those seats.
Then Yep. Then you have like 5 or 8 rows in the middle. Those are like the best seats, and those are the ones that they are charging like 25 or above. No reclining, by the way. It's just the position,
Mhm.
right? And then usually the very back row, those are like reserved for like those cushion or couple seats because they're extra
Yeah.
large. Yeah. So those are of course the most expensive because you're paying for two seats in one,
Mhm.
right? So I remember I went to watch, I think I went to watch the second Spider Verse movie with my nieces and nephew, and I think there were two ladies who came in after, and they checked their like tickets, and they saw that they had the seat like way in front. So they went over there and they sat down, and they were just like looking at the movie, looking at themselves, looking at the movie, looking at themselves, and shaking their heads. They both
Like,
stood
why
up.
did I make this choice?
Yeah, so they both stood up and then they went back outside. And then next thing you know, they came back in with like with someone who works at the theater, and the person is just like standing there listening to them talk among themselves about the seating. I think the ladies are trying to argue their case, which is like, I know I paid for the cheapest seats, but the theater is practically empty. Why can't my friend and I just move a few rows back to make it more comfortable?
I'm surprised they didn't just do that in the first place. That's what I
Yeah,
would
me
have done.
too. I'm like,
If it's
I
empty,
mean, if
who
it's
cares?
practically empty, which it was, why don't you just quietly move like 2 rows back and just enjoy the movie? Because like the fact that you have to bring an attendant in to argue your
Seriously.
case, the attendant is probably like, if you just did it quietly, no one would have said anything.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but now that you made a big deal about it, I'm gonna have to stand here and say no because my job makes me do so.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, like, knowing Malaysians, I'm just stunned that they thought that that was necessary and they just didn't do it
I
themselves in the
don't
first
know. I,
place.
I I couldn't get a good look at them because the theater was already like really dark because the movie was playing. So
Oh,
I
so
can't
maybe they
tell if
were
they're
white.
actually locals. They might have just been tourists who were like staying
Right.
nearby or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, that would make more sense because
Yeah.
I can't imagine a Malaysian just bringing Just
Yeah, it's
anyway.
I don't know. I mean, like people do what they want to do. I if I'm not involved, I'm just like let them be. You know, let them do what they want to do. I'm
Yep.
just here to enjoy the movie. But yeah, I mean, like honestly speaking, I find that like kind of uh well, I can't say it's not effective because it's definitely pushing people to pay more for the seats they want and pay less for seats they don't want. To me, that on paper sounds fair, but at the same time, I can't help but feel like this gives a very good reason for theaters to artificially bump up prices for regular tickets. I feel,
Mm,
yeah. I mean, I get it. It sucks if you're having to pay the same price but getting a very shitty seat like at the very front row. I know it's not comfortable, but there was a certain level of like, first come, first serve. And if you get a good seat, you get a good seat kind of thing.
hmm
But now it's like, oh, you want a decent seat? Yeah, you got to pay like 25 or above. If you don't want a decent seat, you want a pathetic seat, you got to still pay 20 ringgit. And like, uh, I don't know, man. It's already looking pretty empty in here most of the time. Are you sure you want to give people less of a reason to go to theaters?
I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking about the exchange rate, and $20 is
Okay,
like
yes.
$5 here. So that's
True, true,
still cheap. That's how
true,
much I pay for a Tuesday ticket to see a movie,
true.
which is what I tend to do now. And those Tuesday theaters can get like sold out like that, even if it's
Mm,
a out for like a couple of weeks. So this week I went on Tuesday night to go see the new Indiana Jones movie because I was
mm-hmm.
not paying full price for that movie, but I was willing to pay the Tuesday price. and it was literally when I arrived to pick up my ticket, which I'd bought in the morning because
Uh-huh,
it looked like it was probably going to sell out.
uh-huh.
When I collected my ticket, they said there was one seat left because there was like
Oh,
two booths like that were selling tickets at the time, and somebody like a pair of people went to get tickets for it. They're like, "Are there still seats for
mm.
Indiana Jones?" The ticket guy was just like, "There's one seat left." There were two of
Gosh.
them, so they were obviously not able to go.
Oh, gosh.
So I was like, well, at least I bought my ticket online. Yes, I paid another $1.25 for it, but at least I got to sit where, pick my seat and not sit in the
Mm,
front.
mm. Oh, man.
There you go.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for me, with that exchange rate, I'd be like, oh, that's no big deal. That's fine. But I get that it's not the same when you're uh,
When you're
actually
earning ringgit,
yeah, when you're earning
no doubt,
ringgit, exactly.
no doubt.
Where is the piece that I'm looking for? Oh,
Oh,
I thought that
black.
was part of that piece, and so I was not, like, thinking it was
Hey, black on black.
it was facing the right direction, so I really just did not think that it was the one. Okay.
It's alright. It happens.
There.
But yeah, so coming back to it, watching Fast 10,
Mhm.
uh, yeah, it's more of what you love, no doubt. I had to also no, well not had to. I mean, I bumped into Puppy Zach couple weeks back,
Mhm.
and he had actually invited me to go on his internet radio show to like do a review of Fast 10,
Yeah.
which is actually how I got to watching the Fast and Furious 10 movie after
It's
all these years,
yeah.
because like I had skipped all the other movies in between, but the trailers do such a great job at telling you what's going to happen. It's like I didn't really miss a thing now that I think about it.
Well,
But yeah.
I feel like this movie just brings back so much of what had happened before anyway. Does
Mm,
a good job of kind of, I mean, not always, but kind of explaining who these other characters are that you've never seen
yeah.
if you've only seen the first 5 movies.
I mean, I've seen up to five, and that includes Tokyo Drift. So like, I remember most of the people, and even the ones that I didn't see, I still know who they are thanks to the trailers. I mean, like
You did
five was yeah.
you did have to ask me who that one character was. Granted, they were introduced in this one, but like you asked me how they were connected.
Yeah. There were like one or two side characters that I didn't see the connection with, but the others I didn't really have a issue with because like Fast 10 itself was
Mm,
very much like, they're laying everything down very clearly so you know how they're related. Um,
yeah.
you know Jason Statham, what his involvement was with the gang. You know of his handler, aka Mum.
Yeah. Could you
Yeah.
um tell that I don't know, could you tell that he had a connection with Han and
Mm-mm.
why like that he was surprised that I mean not they did say it's like that he was a uh back from the dead kind of situation.
Well, yeah, because like even in the trailer for I think it was Fast Seven, I think it was Fast Seven or Fast Eight that involves Jason Statham. Because Jason Statham in when he first appeared in the series, he was technically a villain.
Yes.
He came off as like a sort of like a bounty hunter, secret agent, and he was specifically told to hunt down Han. He
Mm,
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, Han eventually like quote unquote faked his death.
yes. But
Yeah.
like when he, in the movie that he quote unquote died in, literally
Mm.
we thought he was dead, like
Yeah.
for real until they decided to bring him back.
Yeah.
And
Because it
then
was in the trailers. That it was. I think it was. Oh, now that I think about it, I think it was Fast Six that Statham came in because Fast Five introduced The Rock, right? Then I remember after the credits, there's like a little bit of a movie teaser for the next one, and it
Mhm.
was Han in a car. He was racing, and then halfway the car explodes with him in it, and then you see Jason Statham like roll up in his car. It's like, yeah, this is the next Fast movie.
Mhm.
So yeah, they did actually kill him.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was easy to see that connection because like literally in Fast 10, it's Han going knock knock knock.
Yeah, he's, like, really nervous about it and everything.
Yeah. And then the door opens and like, it's you.
He did make a comment about him supposedly meant to be dead.
Yeah. There's only one reason a man who comes back from the dead is here to see me.
Exactly.
Revenge.
Exactly. So you don't need to have seen the films before to
Not at all. They literally
know.
condense like the plot lines of each related character within Fast 10 just so you're up to speed about everything.
Yeah, if
Even
you don't
even
wanna watch all of them together.
yeah, even Charlize Theron's character, which like is the one that gets the ball rolling for the plot of Fast 10.
Mhm.
She just rolls up in a really souped up DeLorean, like bloody hand and everything, so dramatically, like slapping her bloody hand on the post box, red of blood, ding dong, and she's like,
Click.
"Hey, I know you don't want to see my face, but I'm here, and I'm here to tell you, someone's coming for you,
For me to show up in place, there must be a really good reason for it, right?
right?" And
Yeah, so
Dom's
you
like,
really don't know. You don't have
"Damn."
to know the context. You know that she's not meant to be
And Dom's like, damn, this be in my house.
there.
I need to tell my wife. And Michelle's like, he tells Little B, we have a unwanted house guest.
Yes,
Go do the thing we
it's like
practice.
like this happens all the time. They're expecting
Yeah.
unwanted house guests. Well, that was, I think, one of the ones that you missed. You commented that they're still in the same house after
House.
all this time. There
Yeah.
was one where, Dom and, Michelle Rodriguez's character,
Mm,
and then Dom's son, Brian,
mm,
they were living, um, in a really remote place until like everyone else show up and they're like, "Hey, there's a thing going on. we gotta gotta make you come now." So um, yeah, so just FYI,
Good to know. I'm
there was
getting
a situation that happened.
I'm getting all the missing pieces of FF lore thanks to you.
Yeah, that's right. Well, because I have now literally watched every single film, apart from Tokyo Drift, at
Tokyo
least,
Drift.
and Hobbs and Shaw at least once.
Okay.
I'm sorry, at least twice. Um, because when I borrowed Fast 9 or F9 from the library, I
Mm-hmm.
guess last year,
Mm-hmm.
after it came out, and I was like, "Oh, this is great," but I really don't remember so much things because by the time I watched that one, I was like, I really genuinely thought that they had killed off Brian when he actually died, and that's
Mm-hmm.
not what they just wrote him out of the thing, but he was still alive. He just like got out of the situation, and so I was like,
Yeah.
I really need to rewatch everything so that I made it my mission to rewatch like borrow movies, including Tokyo Drift
Yeah.
because I'd never seen it before from the library and watch them all in order from start to finish. Now, granted, I didn't have to borrow the first two because I have those two on DVD. So,
Okay. Okay.
but the other ones, yeah, that's what I did. I borrowed them all and what like marathon through all of them in like a month.
You
And
have to get
again,
your
watched Fast 9 again after I like just watched it a month before because I just wanted to see like in context well, like there's things
how the story actually fits together, right?
yeah,
I,
exactly.
I will I will say this, like even for someone who hasn't watched anything in between 5 and 10, the writing at least really does like take into consideration people who have skipped the movies,
Yeah.
because like I did not feel confused at all in the entire movie. I am grateful for that. And at the same time, I do understand that since it's such a huge cast of characters at this point,
There's so
it's
many. So
yeah,
many.
it is a challenge to make like everything make sense between each character and like their relationship to the overall plot, which they did relatively well actually. It's it's quite refreshing to watch the movie. I remember saying this in the review with Poppy Zach as well. I found this movie very refreshing because like it's it's still respectful of the audience. It knows what it is. It's just a fun action flick where like ridiculous stunts and like movie sequences happen. They have the cast who like you can feel they're having fun making this movie. Everyone from John Cena to arguably, I would say, the best villain this series has ever seen in the form of Jason Momoa, because the dude is like really unhinged. He's part Joker, part um I want to say Jason Bateman in how ridiculous like his villainy gets.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually a really fun watch, and I guess part of it is because it's very easy to watch and it doesn't expect you to like have to know everything between Fast 5 and Fast 10. It knows you just want a good reason to go to the cinema with friends or family, have a great time laughing and going, ooh, pretty colors, and then like hashing out how fun the movie was over some drinks and food later.
Yes.
And yeah, and that movie does it really well. Um, of course, some people disagree and they gave it a really low rating because they just felt like it was, you know, another boring, lazy production. But honestly speaking, after seeing a lot of lazy movies, this is not one of them. This feels like it. This feels like it at first because it's the premise and the huge cast, which is what a lot of like quote unquote lazy movies often are associated with.
Yeah, I think a lot of people sometimes just like go because they want to hate watch something and then they
Yeah,
find a reason to hate it rather than looking
yeah,
for the reasons that it is actually worth watching.
Yes,
People
true.
don't go for the depth, and they like don't look for the depth, so they don't find it.
Yes, and to be fair, the Fast movies always have had a notorious like reputation of being, ridiculous. But just because the premise is ridiculous doesn't make it a lazy movie.
Nope.
You know, I've seen like insultingly lazy movies, and they don't come from like little studios. They come from major studios, which
Mhm.
is even more of a disappointment. And I can say at least for my opinion, and I think you agree with me, like the Fast movies, as ridiculous as they get, they weren't lazy. They may have felt lazy at certain points for like the movies, but the overall package still delivers what it is, a
Mhm.
fun movie, and it has some grounding, even though the characters are basically stereotypes at this point. They're not mean about it.
Mhm.
They're lighthearted, and that's something that I feel we haven't really had in a while. At least for me. Just like the Marvel movies were my go-to for like that kind of entertainment. And then after Endgame, like the quality, especially the level of writing for a lot of these Marvel movies, just took a very sharp left turn. And yeah,
Not being your thing anymore.
yeah, I just lost interest, especially after No Way Home and the Spider-Man No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange. After
Mm.
those two movies, I just completely lost interest in the Marvel movies.
I thought
Yeah.
the third Guardians of the Galaxy film was pretty great though.
Yeah, that one I heard was really good. I didn't watch it yet because I'm kind of like,
You're off of them right now.
yeah, I'm kind of off of
You,
them,
you got to
but
be
I
in the
heard it
mood
was good.
for it.
Yeah. But I heard good things about it, and I'll probably check it out sometime later when it's available, like for streaming,
Mhm.
or if I can get a Blu-ray of it, lah. Yeah, but I won't actively seek out Marvel movies anymore because, like, well, there are characters that I still love. There are like certain plots and stories that I also am still excited for. But after seeing like how they treat the source material, and also like the kind of stuff they're shoehorning into it nowadays, I'm just like, I
See,
rather just read the I rather just read the comics.
I hear the source material aspect. For me,
Hmm.
like Ms. Marvel is so different in the comics versus the TV series, but
Mm-hmm.
I have to just like take it for like something entirely different than the comics, and
Yeah,
then I can enjoy it more. Because otherwise it's
yeah.
just
You
like
you have to.
it's not it's not the comics. It's but
Yeah.
if I can
I mean,
appreciate it on its own, then it's all right.
they're not supposed to be, if you get what I mean, because like
Mhm.
technically speaking, the Marvel movies themselves are supposed to be taking place in a separate universe in of
Yep.
itself,
Yep.
right? So that's
Exactly.
why they can get away with certain story conveniences, or like melding of like two separate stories into one cohesive one. That is understood, and that actually helped me enjoy the movies a lot more. But I guess even with that knowledge, it's just the current state of how the stories are written and how some characters just start being very mean, that kind of turn me off the current offerings of Marvel, even the TV series. Yeah,
Mm.
it's just that when they kind of like decided to take that direction, they lost me immediately, because like even with like certain story plot points that I was looking forward to, how those characters present themselves just doesn't make me enjoy the overall film anymore. Which is why I decided, yeah, just let it go. Like eventually, enough of it will be made that they need to take another direction. So I'll just hope that next direction is something more palatable to me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah. Which is strangely how I got back into Fast and Furious. Because after Fast Five, I felt like the ridiculousness was like getting to a point I couldn't enjoy as much anymore.
Mm.
and each subsequent movie's trailer, 6, 7, 8, and 9 was just like, oh boy, this is just confirming my bias. So
That's why
like,
I said it comes down. It comes genuinely comes down to the characters for me.
yeah,
Um, like I don't care how ridiculous it gets, and like it's just
mm.
hilarity ridiculous for me at this point. And I can live with that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I just feel like the characters are just so likable.
They
Um,
are, they are, they really are. Even the characters that I I like the least, which was actually Taj and the other guy. The
Roman.
only reason I dislike them is because like the few times they are on screen, it's just them like ribbing at each other in the most stereotypical way, right?
Yep. Yep.
But even then, I am very appreciative that the movie still gives them that one moment where like the weight of being a leader falls on the stereotypical Joker character,
Hmm.
and the guy who's always ribbing on him was like, "Hey man, it's okay. I know it's hard, but you're doing what you're doing, and you're doing it well. We all make mistakes. We all learn. We all grow. So don't worry about it, man." Like, oh man, thanks, dude. You know that really means something coming from you. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, yeah. It's all good, bro. It's all good.
And
And I'm
then they
like,
joke again.
wow. And then they just start ribbing each other again. Like, chew. Oh, you're right, man. It's okay. It's just my allergies. What allergies? I'm allergic to bullshit, bro. Like, what the fuck? But when you say you really love the characters,
Yeah.
it's those moments, and like I'm totally with you on that. They give enough respect and enough um, depth to each character that they are not just a stereotype, even though that is what you mostly see on screen. Them sort of being stereotypes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm someone that is not typically a fan of, Vin Diesel and his, the kind of characters that he generally plays.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like an actor that I seek out films for, but
Mm-hmm.
I really like him in the Fast and Furious movies.
I think Vin Diesel is actually not that bad of an actor. It's just that he has his niche and he really sticks with it.
Yeah.
Because like even back in the early 2000s, I wasn't the biggest fan of him, but like if I saw him in a movie, I knew what to expect. Like I
Mhm.
really enjoyed him in the Chronicles of Riddick.
I've not seen that one.
Chronicles of Riddick is pretty good sci-fi action movie. Worth checking out the first one lah. I'm not sure about the second one. Um, I think he was in. I think he then took like a risk and started appearing in some family-friendly movies. I think there was he in the Tooth Fairy or the Pacifier? I think he was in the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, something like that. Look at all
No, no,
these
no.
spare pieces again.
Oh wow, those are spares.
Yeah, all those spares.
Oh dang. Okay,
I'm on bag 2 now.
nice. Wow, the frame looks really nice put together.
Getting there. I still got
Yeah.
the f the front of the
Okay.
car to go.
All right. Look at us talking about movies, cinemas.
Sorry, I interrupted you. You were talking
No, no,
about
it's okay. It's okay. I'm also act like keenly watching you build the Lego pieces. Wow, there's a lot of black. Oh yeah, it's I guess it really just comes down to like uh balance in storytelling.
Mhm.
You know.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about the pacifier or the other
Oh
one,
right.
maybe the
I believe he was in the pacifier because if I'm not mistaken, Tooth Fairy goes to the rock.
yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar. I don't know that I've
Yeah.
seen either of them, but, because to me, I was like, "Really? It's interesting to see." But, I mean, it's a good that they are willing to branch out and do those, kinds of roles that,
Hmm.
um to show that, these big, buff, manly men uh,
It can be family
can
friendly. Yes.
yeah, and do that kinda thing.
Yeah. I think it worked for The Rock, but it didn't work for Vin Diesel. So so after a while, eventually found himself with the Fast series, I think he saw that it was a great opportunity to like make more, and I think after a while he became directly involved with production.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't hate on the guy. I think he knows what he's good at, and it's really working for him and for a lot of other actors. And as long as audiences still enjoy what he's doing, what they're making, I think yeah, he can make more if he wants to. Honestly, because
Hmm.
the one thing I noticed is that the Fast movies, when it comes to numbering, they seem to be following the Final Fantasy series. If you realize,
With what do you mean?
okay, here's the funny thing. Yeah, they're not following exactly, but Final Fantasy is now in the 16th title in the series, which
Hmm.
is the latest one on PlayStation 5.
Yes.
And the Fast and Furious movies have entered Fast 10,
Yeah.
and they've announced that the finale, quote unquote finale, will be a 3 movie trilogy, right? So it's going to be Fast X Part 1, Fast X Part 2, something like that, you
That's what
know?
you mean. I didn't realize that.
That's what I believe they plan to do. Unless they, like, I don't know, try to do a callback to one of Vin Diesel's earliest movie and make it Fast Triple X. I don't know.
No, they won't do that because that's like Fast 30.
Oh god. So the funny thing is that for Final Fantasy, there was one series, Final Fantasy 13, which did exactly that, which broke down into Final Fantasy 13, 13.2, 13.3.
Yes. But I don't know. I think the 13.3 wasn't actually called 13.3. I think it was just 13 Lightning
Lightning
Returns.
Lightning Returns, yeah. But
Yes.
unofficially, people just call it 3 because it's supposedly connected to the first two, which is, I don't
Yes.
know, I found it very, very convoluted, the whole
It
storytelling.
it took me a long time to get into that one because I got really pissed off with the with the time uh the time stuff.
The time limits, yeah.
Yeah, like that was really frustrating to me because like I don't like being told I have to do something in a particular amount of time, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I get the impression that for Lightning Returns, the goal is for you to keep replaying it over and over again, to like figure out how to resolve this whole like time puzzle thingy.
oh, see, I just let my daughter had played it before me,
Uh
and
huh.
then so I just let her beat a couple of the first two bosses for me, so then I could just enjoy myself.
Ah, okay.
I've still not finished the whole game, but I've got like 2 days left before the whole game ends, and I've done everything that I have to do. So
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I need to get back to it just so I can see the end of the story. But it's like, well, how I'm going to use up those last 2 days? I've got nothing left to do. I think there's like one side quest, and I'm like, I don't know that I have enough time to properly complete it because it was something that takes like multiple days to do or something.
Uh huh.
But anyway, it's fine.
It's okay. It happens. It genuinely happens. I don't. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I didn't play all of the FF13 games. I've only played the first FF13,
Mhm,
and I was so put off by it because of how convoluted the story was, and also how linear the maps were.
mm,
Only like after getting through like 60 plus hours of it, only to be introduced to an open world with like just like, well, it's essentially MMO, like go kill this number of monsters quests.
mhm.
Yeah, so that really put me off to the point like I didn't even have confidence in the next Final Fantasy game. Yeah, I'll be
No,
honest with
that
you.
that's fair.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I have not bought any new Final Fantasy title since 13 because the direction that they took just didn't like sit well with me.
Mhm,
I'm not upset that they changed the combat system. You know, I love turn-based combat, but I also like the direction they're taking with this like quasi action action style fighting. I actually love it because like I love Devil May Cry.
Hmm.
And the Final Fantasy VII remake, that combat system is like perfect for me. That's exactly the kind of combination that I want in a game like it. Um, but to me, again, lah, it's really the choice of storytelling that they're making that just makes me go like, just question marks popping out of my head all the time. I heard
No,
actually,
that's fair.
yeah, like I heard that actually 16 is the best in the current run when it comes to storytelling, and I actually agree because like I got to see people play the demo, and
Hmm.
honestly, the story itself is really good, but oh boy, the presentation of it is like woof. because it genuinely has a lot of like good qualities. The voice acting is amazing. The plot writing is really good. The presentation of like the icons, which are those the summons and everything,
Hmm.
really really good. It's just that you have a lot of busy work of quote unquote gameplay in between these amazing story moments.
Yeah, I I think I found that a bit for 15 as well. Like
Yes.
when I started playing 15, I was like, um, because I'm someone that tries to do all the side quests if there are side quests, and like
Mm-hmm.
there was so much to do early on that like I did
Hmm.
not even get it, far into the first chapter, I think, before I was like took a 2-year break before I went back to it. It like honestly, it wasn't until during the pandemic that I actually went back to it and
Hmm.
continued on. And then like as I like after I got into it, I was more into it. But like at the time, I was just like,
It's
I'm like
difficult.
I wanted more story. Like I
Yeah.
didn't want to have so much to do of side quests before I was getting into the story. Like I wanted to see more of the
Yeah.
story first and then get into the side quest stuff. But
Yes.
if the side quest is there, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then I got frustrated.
I find that to be a very common thing with a lot of these RPGs nowadays.
Mm,
It's like how do I describe it? Okay, with Final Fantasy, right? This is just my opinion. I'm not saying all JRPGs are like this, but specifically the Final Fantasy series as of late, they
mhm,
seem to have a lot of trouble juggling storytelling and gameplay
mm.
because like for 15 for example, they were expecting people to go and watch the Kingsglaive movie before playing Final Fantasy 15.
What?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I mean,
I
I
didn't
don't
even
know.
know there was that movie until, like, I'd finished the game, and then
Okay,
I watched it. I think it was on
okay.
Netflix. I'm like, "Oh, I guess we should watch it."
Yeah, okay. I may be mistaken
And I
as well.
didn't
The
even remember
movie,
anything about it.
yeah, I get what you mean. I may be mistaken. The movie might have come out after the game. I'm not too sure, but essentially, the game literally starts out like in the middle of events because the
Mm,
prologue of the game is like many years in the future where the main characters have all grown up and they're
yeah,
literally fighting like the big bad like moments before the big bad finale encounter.
mm.
Then there's this like whole flashback sequence, which is basically the whole game of where you play as your main character going on a road trip with his boys.
See,
Right?
look, it's been so long since I've seen that intro that I didn't even remember that because, like, obviously I
Yeah.
would have done that first, and then I took a break for 2 years before I went back to it, so I didn't even remember that aspect.
To be yeah, that's what I'm describing actually. They have this challenge, which they I honestly feel they're kind of struggling with in balancing telling a cohesive story with gameplay that makes sense for it.
Mm,
Because if you watch the demo for 16, it really looks like they actually got that figured out, because like everything from the beginning to the end of the demo is very cohesive. They get you like right into the action. It's very exciting. You have no clue what's going on. Two gigantic beasts are fighting one another. It feels very like high fantasy, and they set the mood off amazingly right away.
Mhm.
Then it transitions to like your character, introduces you to the combat while the story is like the plot is slowly being introduced to you.
Mhm.
Then you get a flashback sequence with more like gameplay. And again, it's very cohesive. It follows the plot, it follows the story. You get very invested in the characters. Then you get the title card. Then you actually really open up to like the main game. And it's actually a very exciting ride. It's I would say the writing is really up there with like quality of Game of Thrones or House of the Dragons. Not, and I'm not saying that just because the voice actors are all British. Okay, okay. I mean the introduction, the storytelling is really really good. But once you get into the main meat of the game, okay, and this is where a lot of people actually drop off from playing it, is the fact that um, in between these amazing story segments, you have the gameplay segments and side quests, which not all of them are bad, but majority of them are very much like simple fetch quests. Go over here, kill X amount of monsters, come back and get your reward.
Mm.
And
Mm.
the reason why it's very hard to find fulfillment with those things is because you're basically backtracking a lot of the old places with not much change in scenery or opening up of new areas.
Mm.
And the items in the game, the weapons and equipment in the game, they're not given like much importance in terms of like presentation and utility. Like for example, you get one weapon, you get one armor, and items are limited to just potions.
Mm.
Whereas in the earlier Final Fantasy games, you have a whole plethora of like different weapons, different armors with different stats or elemental bonuses. You have a lot of potion variety from like potion, high potion, ethers, elixirs. You really felt like you had to prepare for a journey. Here, everything is streamlined because they need to focus you on getting to the next amazing like story element right away. But they needed to like keep enough elements of an RPG in there to, I guess, qualify as a Final Fantasy RPG. I feel that's my take on it. Okay, I don't hate 16. I do love 16, but I hate like very specific segments about it.
I will
Yeah.
probably get it eventually, but I currently do not have a PS5, and
Mm.
that is the only game that I want to play on the PS5 at present because
Oh,
because there were
okay.
so many. Well, I still have a PS4, and so many games that were released on PS5 were
Yes.
also late released on PS4. I
Yes.
guess because for so long there are supply issues for the PS5, so they
Oh yeah.
released on both. So like all of the games that I might have been interested in getting for the PS5, I have for the PS4. So, I'm like, I will wait until it's actually, there are more things that I cannot get on the
Yes.
PS4.
Generally speaking, yes, that is the right approach to it. Because as someone who have gone through a similar situation with the PS3, I had to wait 3 to 4 years after the PS3 was released before I felt confident in buying one, just to get like enough games to justify buying it.
Right.
Because when the PS3 first came out, it was promoted as an all-in-one entertainment system. You could watch Blu-rays, you can play
Hmm.
music, you can browse the internet, and you can play Sony PlayStation games.
That was why my ex-husband bought it, was because he wanted the Blu-ray player.
I mean that's fine because honestly, it was a good idea to combine Blu-ray player and PlayStation like model because
Mhm.
buying a separate Blu-ray player is itself also quite expensive back
Look,
then.
honestly, like, that was the whole like, a huge reason why I was able to convince my mum to get the PS2 was because it was also a DVD player, which we did not have
Correct.
at the time.
Correct. It was actually a very smart idea, and honestly, I agree. It gives a strong reason to buy a PlayStation. Yeah. So like I can see the same thing kind of sort of happening again with the PS5, but at least I will say this: with the PS5, they made sure they had enough solid titles coming out to justify buying it. God of War Ragnarok, Ghost of Tsushima. Uh,
Can't you get those ones on the PS4 too, though?
You can get the first God of War 2018 on PS4, but God of War Ragnarok is only PS5, if I'm not
Oh, okay.
mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, at least they sort of like tackled that issue because I, till today, I have not bought the PS4, mostly because I could just borrow one or get one from the office I used to work in. That's how I played Spider Man. um, PS5, I mean, I'm very keen on getting one as well, but I've gotten into the habit of like let's just wait 3 years, 4 years, before I really invest in one. Just because I want to make sure I have a library of games to justify getting it in the first place.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's how it was with me and the Switch. I didn't get a Switch until like 6.5 years, or like six years. How like I got it last Christmas, so however long that it is, and they're already talking about maybe having a Switch 2 coming out soon. So it's
Yeah.
not the right place.
Well, I
Um,
mean, it is 6 years, and frankly speaking, I also own like the first generation Switch, uh, not the one with the wider OLED screen. No, it's literally the first generation. I got it
yeah,
as a birthday
see, I
gift.
have the OLED one, OLED
Uh,
Pokemon Edition.
the screen is much nicer and the colors are much brighter. That's true. But I don't particularly mind because like I still get to play the same games. It's just that the screen is a little bit smaller, not that bright, but it's okay. Uh, Overall, I think the Switch actually was one of the few consoles that honestly did have enough of an offering to justify getting one.
Hmm.
Because honestly speaking, the first game I really wanted to play on the Switch was not Pokemon. The first game I wanted to play was called Astro Chain. It was by Platinum Games, if I'm not mistaken. The ones who are very good at making action games like similar to Devil May Cry. So yeah, that itself justified me getting the Switch.
Well, see, when the Switch came out, I think we'd just recently got a secondhand Wii U. So,
Ah,
again, like a lot of the games that were coming out on the Switch were also available on Wii U. So it was
yeah.
something that, we waited for a while. Um, I think also I was like not so sure how I felt about the controls and stuff. So it wasn't
Mm.
until Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were coming out that I was like, okay, I want to play those. So I'm gonna get it. And I mean, my kids, they already had a Switch Lite, so they were playing things. But for me, I don't like the handheld so much. I like to
Mm-hmm.
play on the big screen.
Mm.
So there was no way I was going to be playing on the Switch Lite. Like, I needed to have but the upside of it is that when we had the Switch Lite and the Pokemon OLED Switch,
Mm-hmm.
it meant that we could trade Pokemon between our different systems.
That's true. That's true.
And then because the kids already had the Switch Lite, it meant that I'd gotten games for it already. Plenty of games to catch up.
Frankly, I'm just waiting for like Nintendo to re-release most of the Wii U Mario titles onto Switch,
Mm,
like Mario Galaxy especially.
mm.
Oh, excuse me. Because I feel like if ever there's a time to bring back those older Mario games, the Switch or the second Switch is the way to go. Or even do a remaster, a complete remake of like Mario Odyssey 1 and 2. I think I think it's well much deserved for a new coat of paint on those old games with better systems.
Well, they've certainly been working their way through the back to re-release. I know that the Pikmins are
Yeah.
being released again for the Switch soon.
Yeah.
Because I went in to pre-order some stuff
Mm-hmm.
to GameStop earlier this week, and when I was doing that, the guy was like, "What about the Pikmin games that they're coming out soon?" I'm like, no. I think like my son might have had one of the Pikmin games on the 3DS,
Uh-huh.
but it's not like I don't I don't even know if he's like if he was in that into it or not. I don't remember. But it's certainly not something that my kids talk about. on the regular. My kids are
Yeah,
obsessed with Pokemon, though. They've played so many Pokemon games, way more than I have.
yeah. I mean, Pikmin, it's for certain people. No, I mean, I say that because like Pikmin itself can be fun. It's just that it's like, how do I describe it? Like that mode of gameplay and puzzle solving. It's it's a very, I would say, old fashioned mechanic that you don't see a lot of modern games tackle nowadays. So it
Mm.
is kind of nice to see that Pikmin 4 continues it. Um, because when I played Pikmin the first time, it immediately reminded me of another game that I played on the PC called Overlord.
Okay.
Because like it literally has the same thing. You, instead of like cute little multicolored Pikmin, you have cute little multicolored goblins. And they carry stuff around and they have like numbers on their head and everything to indicate how large your army is and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's basically like the edgier version of Pikmin.
I
So
see.
like yeah.
No, just commenting. I see.
Yeah.
Continue.
I don't know why. I mean it's like okay, I had a preference for like games that were different even as a kid growing up and going through like those like fake VCDs, DVDs. I tend to look for games that were different and interesting to me, not just what everyone else was playing.
Mm.
Like I enjoyed Battlefield, I enjoyed Call of Duty, but like there's only so much I can play before I get bored, of like running around, getting another gun, shooting a guy in the face. There's only so much of
Yeah,
that
I
before I'm just like, yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely not a fan of those ones. The only one that I have that's like that is GoldenEye 00764.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that was like all of, no, not all, but most of the Nintendo 64 games that I have is because like the reason I have a Nintendo 64 is my mum bought uh a secondhand one with a whole bunch of games like from like within her work like social,
Oh.
like they had like a buy and sell kind of situation at her workplace.
Oh.
And so she was like, do you kids want this? And I was like, yes. So yeah,
Lucky you.
mine is secondhand, is still going strong, although I don't play it regularly, but still got it.
Gotta keep the tradition alive.
My kids have played it, like they get to experience what old school gaming was like.
Yeah. It's it's actually really nice because it forms another sort of like bond with your kid.
Hmm.
Like my nephew, he recently like came up to me and just asked something I never thought he'd ask. He's like, "Have you heard of this game called Metal Slug?" And I just turned to him. I'm like,
How old is this game? I haven't heard of it.
"Oh my god!" Metal Slug started out as an arcade cabinet, Dom.
Oh wow. My kids have played
Yeah.
Pong. I took them to
Okay.
the like a computer museum in San
Ah,
Jose, and they had a working version of Pong there. So my kids have
nice.
played Pong.
Get in touch with the old school roots of gaming.
That's right. That's right. Older school than my generation even. So
Hell yeah. The funny thing is that I didn't even uh I wasn't even born around the time when the older Final Fantasies came around. I
Mm,
only got to know about them because I bought, back then they had those CDs like 1001 games
mhm.
in them and they're basically just filled with ROMs.
Yeah.
So I actually spent most of my young childhood playing games from like the 80s, like those old like pixelated Final Fantasy games.
My dad got an Atari at one point, in the 90s, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, then that's the kind of thing that we played. It's like really old
Super
thing.
hockey. Super Skiing 2000. Wow.
I remember having a 15-in-1 game for the NES, and you had to, like, have a regular cartridge plug into the one end of it to get it to work, 'cause, like, it had, like, this little outlet kind of thing when you're putting it in,
Oh, yeah.
for an I don't even know why, like, it's just
You needed an
weird.
adapter for the memory thing. I mean, that's how they did it for the Nintendo cartridges when they moved over to the Super Nintendo system. You
Mm.
could buy an adapter just so that the older cartridges could fit into the new like larger slot. This was backwards compatibility before it became a thing.
Mm. Oh, are you talking
Yeah.
about, like, the Game Boy adapter for the Super Nintendo? Because I had one of those as well.
Yeah, they had those too. So you could play like those Game Boy cartridges on like your Super Nintendo.
That's how I played Pokemon Blue and Yellow. Like, I had it
Yeah.
played it on the Super Nintendo, with the adapter before I got myself a Game Boy Color.
Yeah. See, even back then, like when you really look at what we have now with the dock for the Switch, it actually hasn't really changed in terms of mentalities from way back when with Nintendo.
Yeah, you wanna be able to play all of those old school games as well.
Yeah, and frankly speaking, if you have like a Nintendo membership, you actually get access to like the digital library of all these super old games.
Yeah, at one point, I will sign up for it now that I, can afford it. But
Yeah,
I have not yet because I have been waiting, until I actually have the time to make the most of it.
of course. And I think we spoke about it before. I recommend it. Get the family plan for your kids as well because
Yes.
it's way cheaper than getting individual plans.
Yes. No, I'm
Yeah.
aware of this. Wait, what did I
Then you can trade Pokemon whenever, wherever.
allow me to do this? That's already like that. Oh, this
Oh,
thing is it's sorry. But still.
did you jump ahead?
Oh no, it's meant to be no, no, no. This is meant to be higher up, not at the same level as these other parts. That's why I was like confused.
Ah.
I did not jump ahead. I just didn't understand that I was supposed to do this other piece too. It's okay. It's all good.
It's all good. No rush. No rush.
It's just it's the mirror, the driver's side mirror. I
Oh,
think
that's
is what it's
important.
supposed to be. Yeah. So of course it's got to be higher up than the edge of the car.
Hmm. Well, I mean, it's hard to look at yourself in the mirror.
Doors don't open. You know how like most Lego cars they have doors that open. This
Uh-huh.
one does not have doors that open. You have to jump in through the window to get in. Just realized that. It's very
Oh
funny.
no. But that's not canon, Dom.
I
That's not
know, that's not
canon.
good.
How is it possible for Dom to rescue his son little B in Fast 10 if you can't open the car door?
Exactly. Doesn't make any sense.
Oh no. Oh no. Lego, fix this now.
It's alright. This is just meant to be a display piece, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Not for opening the doors in and out.
But the car really is looking really good. Like it's coming on very nicely.
It is. Pretty impressed.
Yeah. Is that the tailpipe at the end there of the car? That brown, that piece, that gray piece?
Which this?
Oh, okay. No. That I just realized that's not. That's just the thing that like holds the license plate up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this part. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not finished yet.
Oh, okay.
The front part's not finished yet. It's getting there. Just not quite. Alright.
You know, the more I see you build this car model, the more I feel like, huh, you should try building a Gundam kit.
I probably could. Why do I feel like this is? Oh, two pieces. I just need to put those, and I put this in the wrong place. That's why
Yep.
as well. It's another issue. Wait, is this meant to be? Oh, they're meant to go down. That would make sense. That's why another reason I was confused. It's all good. I figured it out.
Don't worry, they're Lego pieces. If you can put them together, you can take them apart.
Those parts move. It's all good.
Wow. So, what have you been playing lately on your Switch?
It's been a little minute again, but because again, my daughter's just monopolizing everything. She's, as you know, she got very into Octopath Traveler 2.
Oh, yes.
So then she, you know, did some chores and helpful things and
Cooking.
earned yes, so she earned Octopath Traveler 1.
Uh-huh.
And she's been playing that. I'm pretty sure she finished the story of it. Now she's just doing like all the side quests, extra bits and pieces. So that has prevented me from doing much. But
Oh.
well, I've also been doing other things too, so it's fine. It's no big deal. She would have let me play if I'd been asking to do it. But I have a day job as well, so that limits my time. Last weekend, I ended up deciding to do some comic book reading catch up instead of video game playing. So
Oh, so
been,
what'd you read?
I guess, like 2 weeks since I played the last thing I played on the Switch. But let me go back to your first question first.
Okay.
Pokemon Brilliant Diamond is what I'm currently in the process of finishing.
Ah,
I got all the way up to the champion and then had not taken enough revives and potions and stuff with me, so I died.
oof.
And
Oof.
so, that's part of why I'm taking a break because I'm like, do I want to do some grinding to get better? Like all of my Pokemon are at least like level late 50s, early 60s or something now. So like they're quite high already. And I got through the Elite Four all right. I honestly
Nice.
did not have that many uh potions and revives with me, but I certainly did
Mm.
use all the ones that I had. So I had to go out and buy some more. And I've not gone back to try again yet because I'm just like I felt really daunted when I did face the champion, just like how
Oof.
powerful it was. And they like I like the two Pokemon that were the best ones to use against this one that was pissing me off the most were the ones that I was not able to revive before I went to fight the champion. So that was kind of an issue. As I'm sure you can imagine.
Yes, I can.
But like I already have all but one of the mythical slash legendary Pokemons that you can get in the game.
Mm.
But another thing that they have is like this underground feature thing. You can just like dig underground and like find all
Ah,
these
yeah.
other Pokemon and stuff as well. So that was another thing that well, that's what I went to do, like, and did some fossil digging and, and stuff while I was waiting.
Yeah, the mining mini game was like, I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of people playing it, and I guess it's kind of fun, but I don't know. You can do that with other people, right? As in, like, people can join you
Yeah.
online and mine together.
Yes, I believe so. But I don't have other people that I play things with.
Don't worry.
I mean, if my kids were interested in doing stuff with me, then I might have gotten the Shining Pearl one as well. But they were not so interested in these ones, so I just got the brilliant diamond for me.
Mm. It's all good. Don't worry. When you get online, I'm sure you'll find more people who can play with you.
If I
And
feel
when you,
like it. But sometimes
yeah,
I just like doing stuff by myself.
yeah, and when when your kids get older as well, I'm sure they'll find activities like playing games together more entertaining with you.
Mm. Well, I mean, we've done other games together. It's just like this particular Pokemon they were not as interested in. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, because well, I mean, like I said, we did the Pokemon Violet and Scarlet together.
Uh huh.
I've been doing also the um, Mario 3D World.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shoot, my hang on a sec. I'll be right back.
All right, no worries. And that why chat is why we always have milkshakes before breakfast. Hi, Don. Welcome back.
Milkshakes before breakfast, Calvin.
nothing. Just just speaking with your chat. That's all.
Yeah, no, nobody's here anyway. Who cares?
Lol. Sometimes you gotta speak your truth. You know what I'm saying?
It's so good. It's fine. How's this supposed to go?
Is that the wheel?
No, it's lights, but it doesn't actually. Oh, okay. It doesn't matter that it doesn't attach because I have to put this on to attach it.
Slowly as you go. Slowly as you go.
The headlights. It's the headlight
Yeah.
getting there. So I was talking about so Mario 3D World. We also had been playing the most
Mm.
recent Kirby game together.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Kirby is fun.
but my son got a little bit sick of that one because there were some
Uh
frustrations that came up as we were playing, and um, and so he didn't want to play it anymore. But when we have time to play things together, then we'll make the effort to do it. And it's been a bit, but I am not working next week, so hopefully we will have sometime to do
uh-huh.
some things because my kids are on summer break and
Yay!
I have not taken a week off since Christmas. Christmas New Year,
Whoa.
the last time I
It's
had like that much time off of work.
it's high time you take a break, Dom. It's high
Look,
time.
I had a 5 days off in a row recently.
Yeah, but I mean,
That included a drive down to San Diego and a drive back, and me freaking out on the road because my car, uh, decided to brake on me. That's all. So
well,
it'll be nice to have the time to myself, not doing anything,
mm,
and just enjoying things.
yeah, you need time for that. I say that because a lot of people tell me that, oh, I can't take a break now because I took a break recently. Then I asked them, what did you do? Oh, I used my break to catch up on a lot of stuff, like, do household chores, send my kids to camp, go and do this, go and do that. Yeah, just like, did you really take a break?
Mhm. Yeah,
Just like this.
I'm probably going to be doing some catch up on the household things that I need to get done, as
Yeah.
well, but I'm hoping to have some enjoyment time as well, but, this is why I need to also have a break that's an actual vacation where I'm traveling somewhere. Um,
Yes.
Speaking of, though,
Mm-hmm.
because I had a little bit of extra time once I finished everything that was necessary for me to finish before I, finished my day today. Only worked 4 hours today, Calvin. Like we have
Wow.
half day Fridays. But like
Amazing.
I was right on track with things. But I was able to look at my commitments that I have for the next few months and what is
Hmm.
actually being scheduled for. And I do think I can work around and figure out like a way to visit Malaysia in September. I'm still crossing my fingers to make
Ooh.
that happen, but we'll see. We
All
will
right.
see because I still, need to. There's still things to check off,
Of
um,
course.
but I'm still working with that goal in mind.
All right. All right.
I
Well,
need
like
I need this extra time for a vacation. I need to get out of my house.
you need to get out of the house. You need to get some food in your system. You know.
That's right, Malaysian food. I mean, look, to be honest, I have been having frozen roti canai that I heat up on the heat up on my stove, but it's not the same as the authentic
Absolutely
stuff
not.
cooked in Malaysia.
Absolutely not. You need the planta, you need the ghee, you need the
Mhm.
curry, and you need to have a relatively well endowed either Indian man or woman just going piak 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 smash smash smash.
Yes, yes, exactly. Need all of that stuff.
Exactly. But in any case, I'm happy to hear that. Of course, do take the time to work it out so that you don't miss out on anything. And even if you don't get to come exactly in September, if it's later in the year, it's fine. We don't have like very erratic seasons in Malaysia. It's either wet or hot as hell. So
No, but if I waited until, like, Christmas, then people are still balik kampung then, so I wanna I wanna make sure I come when there's, like, actual things to do and see that I wanna see and do.
Yeah, don't worry. I mean, September is okay. There's not much going on. I'm sure there's like one or two like cultural festivals happening around, but there's no major holiday that I can recall. Let me just double check for you.
But there's mooncake season, late
Yes.
September.
Yes, but Mooncake season is not a public holiday.
No, sure, sure, but it's still a festival of sorts.
well, I
Okay.
mean, if you're coming in the early September, there is Malaysia Day, but
Mm,
it's only like one day. September 16, is that on the weekend or not? Let me see. September
yes. Well,
16
it's
is on a
just
Saturday. Yeah.
after. Is it?
Yes, it is. It's on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have the weekend. Yeah, I guess some people might take a trip out to like nearby Ipoh or Penang, but they probably won't be away for very long.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to have 2 weekends so I have a chance to see more comedy shows. 'Cause
Oh, oh
I
yeah, yeah.
I
You can
imagine,
totally.
like, that's the only way that I'm going to see as many people that I would wanna see.
I guess. Although I'll be honest with you, I don't really know where most of the old gang goes to perform nowadays because
There
you
are new
know.
places popping up. Look, I see things on Facebook
Oh yes, yes.
every now and then,
You
so
still have connections in Facebook. Yeah, I'm off Facebook.
yep, I know. But, um yeah, I see things. I know that like Prakash recently did a couple of nights of a new solo show, and he posted on Threads in response to someone else about reprising the show and like slightly differently on September 8th, and I was like, September 8th, you say? So that's a possibility of if making it at that time so that I could see his show. But we'll see. It may
Mhm.
work out that it's better for me to go later in the month. Um,
Yeah,
in which case, maybe I'll join you in Tokyo instead. So we,
yeah. We'll
we
see.
we will see.
We will see. I mean, work out what's best for you. After all, don't worry too much about trying to do everything at once. Because I feel that I feel that so long as like you can get yourself here and have a comfortable place to stay, it's more likely than not that you can reach out to almost all of us, and you can probably meet most of us actually, so
I
long
don't
as
know
we're in the country.
I don't know. I don't know if everyone wants to see me. We'll see.
Oh, come on. You already have a handful of people, I'm sure.
Oh,
Don't worry too
a
much.
handful, sure. I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's been a few that I've not really spoken to at all in the last several years.
Well,
I'd love to see them again, but I don't know that because I have not been keeping in touch. So
well, yeah, don't worry about it. This is an opportunity to reconnect.
we'll make it
Let's
happen.
see. Of course. And don't worry, even if you can't meet most people, I'm pretty sure there'll be just enough people here to take you out, catch up with you, catch some comedy shows, go have some late night supper Malaysia style.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'll get me back off my track of that I've been eating healthy.
Indeed, indeed.
Like I've lost 10 pounds of my pandemic weight already. When do we put it all back on again?
Oh, don't worry, Dom. If there's one thing that our country is good at, is that as much as you eat, the weather will help you most of the time lose weight.
Probably true.
We can take a stroll around KLCC. You'll be back to your, pre-pandemic weight before you know it.
Well, even more reason for me to come visit then when we get everything off. It's really hot
Exactly.
here at the moment. Well, not as hot as there, but like hot for us.
Mm.
Like, I walked outside yesterday. It's only 24 degrees Celsius, right? Yesterday. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, it's so hot. Today was 26. I'm like, oh my God. I did go out walking like yesterday and today. Yesterday I went out because I've been trying to get out more to exercise, just because I've not been moving enough with working remotely. And yeah, so yesterday I went out and walked to a comedy club that's in walking
Mm.
distance to my house that I'd never been to before, to check out
Mm.
their open mic night to see if it was like something I'd be interested in trying to get back into. Did not realize that it was one of those places where you have to buy two things to eat or drink while you're there. So it was like, well, at least the show was free. Yes,
Exactly.
that's how they make the money because they make you buy stuff to eat while you're there. So that made me less inclined to go back regularly because it's like
Mm.
if I have to buy food while I'm here and it's not the kind of food that I've been eating that that has helped me get healthier, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then yet today I was out to like go pick up some things from the library and so on. So hot weather. It's meant to be. I mean, it's supposedly been summer for over a month, and it's not felt like that. And now it does, even though it's only 24, 26 degrees, which I'm sure you're like, that's nothing, because I know how hot it gets in Malaysia.
24, 26. Do you guys have air conditioning running outside? Oh, damn. That
That-
sounds comfy.
right. That's like your minimum in year round.
I don't
I
think
know.
we've
I get it.
actually
I get
ever
it.
seen temperatures below 24.
That's what
Let me
I'm
see. Let me
saying.
see. Let me see. What is the coldest temperature in Malaysia? Coldest. It has to be somewhere in the highlands. Has to be.
Oh yeah, I'm in
Okay.
the highlands, of course. It's
Oh my god, Dom.
what
The
what
lowest official recording of temperature for Malaysia was in Cameron Highlands on February 1st, 1978.
ooh. And it was
7.8 degrees Celsius.
so not even freezing. it never snows in Malaysia apart from in the Genting Highlands when they have that
Not
snow
even
place that
then.
you
The
go to.
only place,
No,
no,
no, in in the factory-made
Lord.
snow place that they have. That's what I'm referring
No,
to.
no, I mean we do actually very rarely get a bit of snow at the very top of Mount Kinabalu on
Mm,
like the colder seasons. And
okay,
even then,
okay.
and even then it's like years in between.
Mhm.
Like we actually have a recording of snowfall in Mount Kinabalu. The earliest was in 1975, followed by 1993, and then just last year.
Wow.
Those were the only three times we had snow in Mount Kinabalu.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, nah, 24 is not that bad. I mean, we do get maybe 21 at night, maybe. Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Like me complaining about 24 degrees is so silly.
Well, you're in a completely different part of the planet, so it's cool. It's all right. When you get over here and you meet, the high 28s and 30s again, you're like, ah. So this is what it's like.
I'm gonna be dead.
So that's why everyone who's not from Malaysia wears tank tops when they're here. So that's why everyone wears shorts. I see.
I mean, I was used to it when I lived there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got used to it after like what, your first 6 months living here in Malaysia?
Probably.
Yeah, don't worry. You'll get used to it again. You'll customize. Your body's like, oh, this is familiar. The moment
In
you taste
in
curry, like, oh.
in less than 2 weeks, I don't know that that's gonna work. I'm
Well,
not
you'd be
moving back there, Calvin.
surprised. You'd be surprised. Oh, you're finally
Okay,
putting on the wheels. Is
I
this the
am.
last?
I
Is this
think
the
it's
last
the
step?
last part, yeah.
Oh, very nice.
I
Oh, that snap is really, 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 really nice.
do love that snap.
Mm.
Look, they gave a spare, hubcap.
Can never go wrong with a spare hubcap.
Just in case something
Wow,
goes wrong. Goes
yeah,
off.
look
Alright,
at it. It looks good.
let's put Dom in his
Driver's
car.
seat. Yeah,
Yeah.
with a nitrous oxide shaft next to him.
That's right. In the Dodge Charger. Here we go. Oh, so actually want me to take
Oops.
the that part off first? Oh, you do.
Oh,
You
he's
have to
so
take
big. You need to take out the windscreen.
it's so low. Alright, there we go. Oh, you gotta make his hand go down and then seriously? How
Hands
is
on
it
the wheel, Dom. Hands on the wheel.
how is it supposed to go?
Or does his hands have to be
Like
up?
seriously? That's
Oh, okay.
ridiculous. How is he
Interesting.
supposed to be up like that?
I don't know. Is he supposed to be waving his hands up in the air? Like the car is the car is in midair about to crash or something?
That works.
Okay.
I guess that's fine. Oh, maybe he's meant to be sitting back like that. A little bit.
Maybe.
There we go.
Does his
There we
chair
go. There we
recline?
go. No, I
Ah,
just
there we
leaned
go.
it back a little bit more. There we go. That's all right. That's all right. It's all good. He's in the car. Wait, now what's wrong?
Uh-oh. Is his head too big? Is he too tall?
Maybe? What's going on? Why can't
Is he supposed to have his legs in the car? Because you know how
his
like some
legs
leg.
his legs are in the car. Oh yeah, no,
No,
they're
no, because
supposed to be.
okay, all right. Because like you know how some Legos used to be in the older times, you had to take out the legs just to fit them in the car.
It's all good. It seems to be fine now.
Nice, looks good.
Okay, that noise is because of the spanner or whatever it is, the wrenches in
All
there.
right, right. The wrench is in the car booth.
Yep. So it's making a noise. I did it!
Nice, well done, Dom.
Let me see. On the side, you can see him in there.
Oh, that looks really
Good.
nice. A lot of detail.
Spinny, spinny, spinny.
Spinning wheels.
Spin the wheels. We supposedly have a viewer right now. If they want to
Aha,
leave a
see?
comment for us, I don't know.
See?
People
See?
people like to watch and then not like say anything, and then as soon as you point them out and say, "Ah, I see there's somebody watching," then they
They
disappear.
run away. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid,
You can
viewer.
say hi. You can say
And you
hi.
can agree with me that we can have milkshakes before breakfast, right? Yeah,
All
that's
right,
great.
not bad. Well, next time I'm guessing you don't have time for me to build another one.
Not today because I need to go get ready for lunch.
Yes.
But
Um.
when
Yeah.
you want to have another Lego stream, let me
Next
know. I
time.
will try to wake up on time next time. So
I can be more flexible. I mean, this week I've got like a whole week that I'm not working. I can do streams at whatever time. If you
ooh,
want to do like an
lucky.
evening at something, although
Sure.
that's kind of early for me.
Yeah.
We'll
Go
see.
go
We can
go
figure
with
something
what
out.
go with what works for you best. Don't worry about it, you know? It's
Hmm.
okay.
Just depends on how late that you want to stay up, because I know that like Malaysians can stay up pretty late sometimes.
Well, I mean, when the average Malaysian eats something at midnight, you know.
You need some time to stay up and digest before you get to bed.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the healthier option instead of sleeping straight away. You know, you get indigestion.
You can see the let's get through the window.
I can see his arms.
See his arms. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah,
It's all good. Oh, did
it
you see
looks
that
good.
rear? Look at that.
Mm,
It's got his
nice.
California license plate and everything.
Definitely something you can display on your shelf and it look really good.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna need to
Yeah.
figure out where is the best place for these ones. I've run out of some room in my room, so it might have to be in a different room. But it's also like, but I'm the only person in this house that is a Fast and Furious person. So maybe I should have it in my room somewhere. It'll just be a case
Why
of
not?
figuring out where.
Yeah. Well, you can take your time and see where it goes because remember, you need space for Brian's car too.
That's right. I need to have Brian's car right next to it. They're best buds. I just love how like, Brian, was like trying to arrest him, like working undercover to arrest him in the first movie, and then like becomes his bestest buddy and marries his sister.
I know, right? I know, right? There's
So
even that line in
funny.
there's even that line in Fast 10, you know? Just because someone's a cop and someone's a street racer, they have a lot more in common than it looks. Like, damn, that cut deep.
But they always like, even The Rock was the same situation. Like he
Yeah,
was trying to, catch them and arrest them, and then he ends up getting turned and being
yeah,
on
joins
their
the
side
group.
as well.
Uh,
Uh,
family is complicated.
that's right. All right. Well, I guess we'll leave it there. Thank you
Hmm,
again so much for joining me. Love to chat as always.
same
Um,
here.
yeah. Oh, it's Andrew has joined us.
Hello, Andrew.
Andrew said, yes, I have been lurking and listening to you guys chat while I did chores around my house. Thank you.
Hey, all your
Thank
washing
you for
folded.
tuning in, Andrew. Yeah. Watching as well. I need to do stuff like that. I still have laundry in my dryer from maybe 2 weeks ago.
Whoa, okay. It's time, Bob.
A
It's
week and a
time.
half maybe. Like I just I don't take it out, like I when I need new clothes, I go to the dryer, take it out of the dryer, and then the rest of the dryer gets emptied the next time I run the laundry. Like
Okay.
this is my deal. Yeah. And
Okay.
Andrew says hi from Australia. In case you didn't realize that
Oh,
Andrew from
hello.
Australia.
Hello there.
Same time zone as you, Calvin.
That's true. That's probably why he's awake.
That's right. Well, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you tuning in as well. You're one of the few people that enjoys tuning in when possible. So I do appreciate that. All right, we will finish up, and next time you join me, Calvin, we'll do the Brian's car, the Nissan
Skyline.
Skyline. Yes,
Yeah, looking
the
forward to
one
that one.
the one that sold out so quickly, and I got it super quick before it sold out, and then didn't build it until it became available again.
And we can definitely talk about the CGI face of
Oh my
Paul.
god, yes. Next
Yes.
time we need to, because even with that like that ending is so emotional for me. Um,
Okay.
thank you again, Andrew. All
Thank
right.
you, Andrew. It's great to have you here. Join us next time, yeah?
Yeah, time zone. Like Andrew could join with us for the actual conversation as well. Andrew's been on my stream before.
Nice. Well, we shouldn't keep you any longer. I have to go get lunch ready, and you gotta get clothes out of the dryer after 2 weeks.
Well, probably tomorrow when I run the next load of laundry.
Okay.
I don't have much left in there now, to be honest. So it's time.
Probably. Well, I should sign off now. It's great fun chatting with you again, Dom.
Yep,
Let's do it again soon, yeah?
will do. All right.
All right. Bye
Yeah, and
bye.
Andrew said yes. Maybe join next time. We'll see. All right.
Nice.
Thank you.
Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye.